Welcome back to the Vault's YouTube channel, boys and girls. We are here with another product unboxing, and it is whole new line of Trynyty Fenders. They're offering two new Fender styles for you. We're gonna first look at the Stingray V2. If you remember the Stingray V1, it was a lot taller, a little bit thinner construction. Had a bottle opener on it, but you guys didn't like the look once the spoiler came out, so they said, you know what, the Stingray, it needs a little update, and this is what they came up with. This is going to be a steel fender, so super strong. If you're a weight weenie, go with one of the other options, the Bender Fender or the spoiler, and you'll save a little bit of weight, but here this is strong and just super nice construction. And you know what, let's show what it will look like on a deck. This is gonna be unexciting, me unbolting it from the packaging. Nice packaging right there. It's actually installed onto it. Let's read a little bit about Trynyty. Trynyty is a freestyle scooter brand based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, dedicated to product innovation along with the support and development of the freestyle scooter community around the world. Trynyty constantly reinvests into the scooter scene and finds new ways to make our sport grow on the world stage. Thank you for supporting Ride Around. Follow them on Instagram at RideTrynyty, and you can check them out at thetrynyty.com. Don't be lazy, recycle this. Nice, I like that. Ooh. So there you go, included are two brake bolts, 4mm head on that, so you can tighten it down nice. You will need to tighten both sides of this, so Allen wrench from the top and the bolt from the bottom, so if your deck doesn't quite fit that, good luck with that. Get crazy, get ingenious right there. And it is a top mounting brake, steel construction, nice laser engraving right there. One single hole, but stretched out throughout the entirety. So if your brake bolts don't quite line up with the fender, you have a ton of room to slide it throughout the deck. And let's say you're running 100mm wheels and your name is Alex Blum, well, that really wouldn't apply. He doesn't ride a Fender. Someone else who rides a Fender and 100mm, you could slide it all the way to the back, get that extra foot space, or if you're riding 125, you can go all the way to the front. And speaking of 125, this will actually fit 125 diameter as well as 30. So pretty much any wheel in the game will fit in this guy. Just nice classic look. So the Stingray V1 didn't really tickle my fancy. Stingray V2 looking pretty nice. And we got a North Atlas side deck here, and we're going to pop off the brake that came with it and kind of show you what it'll look like on a deck. We have our North Atlas side deck here without a fender or brake installed on it. Purchase this from TheVaultProScooters.com. Simply slide it in, and it's looking pretty good, but let's get the full installation process going. And earlier when I said you will need access to the bottom, North is kind enough that this part of the deck is missing. I think I've mentioned it's top mounting, so you will need a deck with top brake mounts, or you'll need to modify it. We did actually do a video on how to make a fender fit any deck, so go ahead and click this card up here if your deck doesn't have those top mounts and you kind of want to know how to get it to fit. But this one, grabbed the North deck, I knew it was top mounting and I knew it'd look good with a fender, so let's go ahead and fully install this bad boy right here. They are nylon locking nuts, so just hand tighten it to the point where the nylon starts to grab on, and then you can switch to your tool. And North just barely including enough space for my fat fingers to get in there and kind of get that process started. And probably before you fully tighten it on, I would recommend getting your wheel in there and seeing how much space you had. Like I said, if you're running 100, then your wheel's probably gonna stop right here, and you can whoop, like maybe not that much, but you just basically got an extra inch of deck space. If you're running 125, you might have to go all the way forward. And if ultimately it's still not big enough, you could always just do a little bit of extra modification there, try to get last little bit out there, and it should fit 125 diameter all the way down. So, and the North deck fits 30 wide, includes all those spacers, and you can see that this is still fitting really nicely actually on the deck. Sometimes you'll run into the case where you have to carefully bend out a leg, or it'll be sitting like halfway in there. I can't even make it not sit good. Wow, good design. But there it is in all of its glory. The Stingray V2 looking much better. Clean, steel, strong. You'll be carrying this over through every deck till you're done riding, or you say, hey, I wanna go to a break again. But what if you're not sure if you want a fender? Okay, I kinda like my brake. I use it for like tail taps. If I put on a fender, yeah, like it's a nice foot stop. It looks cleaner, in my opinion. You know, the wheel's exposed, and like I still just kinda wanna brake. Well, Trynyty's got just the thing for you. They have the Trynyty Bender Fender, and it is available in a couple of other colors. You got your raw, you got your classic black, and your red, And we're looking right here at the navy blue. What the heck is a Bender Fender? Well, it takes the tried and true spoiler fender that you all know and love. Same brake mounting system, all that, top mount, nothing's gonna change, but they also included a flex fender that's designed to fit beneath the spoiler so that if you are riding, you can still actually use the brake a little bit. So let's go ahead and pop this off, separate them. And in case you guys were wondering, these are actually made in Canada, fabriqué au Canada. So they aren't getting these made overseas and then bringing them in to lower the cost point. They said, you know what, we wanna support the local economy. Hey, it's the Canadian economy, but they're our neighbors upstairs. Like, they're cool, go visit. I think they have street jams and stuff too. There we go. We are just finally getting it out of the packaging. The brake bolt does look to be a little bit longer, and that makes sense since you are going to be actually having two fenders bendering on top of each other. And heck, you buy this, it's not that much more money than the other one. I imagine push came to shove and you decided, hey, I don't really like the way the fender and the brake work together. I decided I want to go back to a brake. I'm guessing you could probably install the brake, and the brake looks steel, really thick, so it's not flimsy, so it's not gonna be ultra sensitive like a plastic brake or even some of the other fenders on the market. So you could probably just run this as a brake. And of course, this is the spoiler fender. So if you decided, you know what, I want to try it now, just the fender, just install this beneath. You might need to go to the hardware store and get a shorter bolt, or if you just don't care, it'll still tighten all the way. Let's check out what this guy actually looks like. Just get one bolt started first. Also using a 4mm bolt on that guy, so good for a brake bolt. They used to be like 3mm, like less than a year or two ago, so glad that they are getting with that bigger. And just holding everything still. I don't have the rest of the scooter with me right now, obviously, so it's making maneuvering the deck pretty easy, but if you have your full scooter on, you'll figure it out. We trust you guys, you got it covered. And of course, if you're having difficulties, email us, we'll walk you through the process. So that's one bolt just kind of started. Let's get the other one through both levels. And that is why you have such a long brake bolt on that, because two brakes on top of each other. One fender, one brake. It's a Bender Fender. So also nylon locking threads on this one, so if it feels a little tight early on, it's doing its job, it's grabbing on there, so your brake bolts aren't coming loose on you while you're riding, hopefully. Unless you want to be, I mean, heck, it'd even help you if you're like that mad street steez, where you want to have your scooter kind of jangling a little bit. You could loosen these, get a little bit of noise, and the nylon locking will keep it from coming all the way undone. And looks like the legs on this are not quite as wide as the Stingray V2, but still with this 30mm wide opening right here, we're still able to get firmly on each of the deck. Let's see, actually compare those two. Oh wow, dude. You could do the spoiler Bender Fender amender. You could put all three of these on your scooter and look really sick. Yeah, that's sweet. The Stingray, if you for some reason have an even wider deck, or you're like, yo, the spoiler, I just want wider. Stingray, got you covered. And here it is installed on the Atlas side. For being a fender and a brake together, does not look that bad. And this is, let's see if that is shoved all the way up. I think we got a little bit more clearance. That is indeed all the way forward. And now the Bender Fender, if you're already riding a Trynyty spoiler, they don't sell just the bottom part separately. If you're running 125s and it's pretty close to hitting the spoiler, you might not be able to run this just because that is gonna take away, it's only like 2mm in clearance, so you should be good. So it should still be able to fit 125, and of course the width isn't changed at all, so you're going to be able to fit 30 wide. If you're running 110 by 24, don't even worry about it. Top mounting brake, good to go. And now let's see how far back we can push it. And just like with the other one, you're not going to be running a 60mm wheel, but if you're running 110, you'll probably be about right there, and you're getting a whole 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch. If you're running 125s, slide it forward all the way, and you're gonna have clearance and you're gonna be feeling good. I'm gonna crank this down one more time, and we're actually gonna test how hard it is to push down on the brake. Yeah, so it is stiff, it is strong, it's not like super flimsy. You still have that to stop your foot from moving, and if for some reason you need your brake for many tricks like tail taps, or you still do brake manuals, then you'll still be able to brake. With that being said, no, I was saying you'll slam it forward for the wheel clearance, but since you can adjust it pretty easily, you'll probably want to get the Bender Fender, specifically the brake part, kind of close to your wheel so you don't have to stomp on it so much. And not only does it look good, but since it is a brake and a fender, you know, sometimes when you're riding, your foot does just kind of come back, and that's why people who don't really care about brakes will ride the fenders, and it keeps them from rubbing on their wheel. That's why I rub it. But also, if you are a brake rider, sometimes you land, foot slides back, and you are actually hitting that brake and causing it to touch the wheel. Now you have a full inch or so right here to keep you from actually touching that brake. So you only use the brake when you intentionally get your heel over that and push down on it. So if you are a brake rider and not even thinking about going fender, maybe you'll like this. Take a note, especially like when you land fakie. I know that was a killer back when I rode a brake. I'd land fakie, and if my foot slid back and I engaged the brake, just tossed right to my back. So if you are a brake rider, might be worth it to check it out. And then if you get bored, you can be like, oh, let's see what the spoilers are like just alone. And you'll be like, I miss my tire tap leg sweep bars, you know, out there doing it. And there we go, guys. That is the new line of fenders from Trynyty. Let us know in the comments below what you think about this, especially with the Bender Fender. I know only, I think one other company has done it so far. Is there a need in the market? Are you thinking about buying it? What do you think about the Stingray V2? Are there any fans of the Stingray V1 in there? Kind of doubt it, but hey, Trynyty, they are dedicated to product innovation, and you're seeing that right here, just offering 2 new products like that off the shelf. If the Bender Fender does good, I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing it in other colors, because I know the spoiler itself comes in other colors. And thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more product unboxings. And again, if you're still not sure how to get a fender to fender deck, we already did a video for you guys. Check it out, it's in the description and in that card up there. So we'll see you next time. Peace.